Hey YouTube, so after uploading that last video, I remembered that I did not include, or well, rather, I remembered that I forgot to include my tip for freshmen, for this year's incoming freshmen. Um, and that's just, it's not the end of the world. Like, no matter what, it's really not the end of the world. Like, just loads and loads of homework, because of your time management is really crappy, like mine. Or, like that super embarrassing story, whether you're visually impaired or not, you're not the only one. You might be the only one with that particular story, but someone has gone through something similar, or they have something that's arguably more embarrassing. And in the spirit of, of the it's not the end of the world thing, motto, advice, whatever, I wanted to share with you a story from my first week of my freshman year that I left out of all of my previous vlogs. So it was a few days into dorming, and I spent most of my time inside because I didn't really have any friends. I knew a few people at Hunter through the Hunter chat, but we hadn't met up or anything, and my other friends were out of the city or out of state. So I wasn't really doing anything. My sister was back at work. She was a teacher at that time. And, so I didn't really have much to do. So I was mostly hanging around in my dorm, and at one point, though, I had contacted a former teacher of mine, just to give her an update, tell her how life was going. She and I hung out every few months and just caught up on things. And so she and I went out, and we went out to eat or something, and we came back, and she wanted to see the dorm. So I took her, I showed her my room, cool, awesome. And then, she had to use the bathroom. So I have my own bathroom because I'm blind, so. And that sounds, I don't want to use the word conceited, but for lack of a better term, it sounds kind of conceited, but it's really true. It's an ADA bathroom. But I like it. I like having my own bathroom. Although I would not have minded using the same bathroom as, you Sideds, but whatever. So she goes into the bathroom, and she's like, "Oh my god," and I'm like, "Oh, what happened?" And so, that day, I had used the bathroom. Evidently, I had dropped the tampon into the toilet. I had also pooped, but because I dropped the tampon into the toilet, it was clogged. So she's like, "Oh my god, there's everything in there but the kitchen sink," and I was so embarrassed. And so she went to use the other bathroom, whatever. And I had to go downstairs and tell Res Life, that the toilet was clogged. I dropped the tampon in there. Of course, I didn't tell them that there were other things in the toilet. And so I remember just awkwardly, because the bathroom is next door to my room, but there's a span of wall. And I remember every sound I heard, I tiptoed to my door and just press my ear, I wonder if it's them inside of the bathroom. I felt really awkward going out there and checking. And I think one of the Res Life people, when she'd come in, I think she went with the custodial staff, or maybe it was just it just sounded like her, but it doesn't make sense necessarily, so it might have just been the custodial staff. But I heard someone go, "Oh my god," and I was just like, oh, I'm now the blind girl, and now I'm sure the custodial staff, they share these horrible stories, so I felt so awkward. But again, it wasn't the end of the world. It's, a year later, I'm a sophomore. I've had tons more embarrassing things, and I will have many, many more embarrassing things, so yeah, it's not the end. And, there's always people there who will laugh with you, at you, when you tell them their embarrassing stories and make you feel better. So, yeah. Alright. Now have a good day or weekend.